Chapter 1. Whispers in the Dark. The summer night hummed with the soft cadence of crickets, their song drifting through the warm breeze that stirred the sheer curtains in Ellie Dawson's room. Moonlight pooled across the floor, illuminating a collection of sketches strewn haphazardly over her desk. Drawings of old maps, imagined creatures, and scrawled notes from her explorations around Willow Creek. Ellie's world was always full of mysteries, but tonight felt different. The air carried a subtle, electric charge, as though the stars themselves were holding their breath. A thud echoed from outside. Ellie's eyes snapped open, heart thudding in her chest as she strained to hear past the rhythmic chirp of crickets. There it was again, a faint rustle, like footsteps treading softly over dry leaves. She slid out of bed and tiptoed to the window, pressing her palms against the cool glass. The street below was cloaked in shadow, but just beyond the picket fence that marked the edge of her yard, something moved. "It's probably just a raccoon," she muttered, though the tremor in her voice betrayed her nerves. She glanced at the clock, 11:47 p.m. Most of Willow Creek had long gone to sleep, the little town wrapped in its familiar blanket of silence. But not Ellie. Adventure called to her like a beacon, sparking life into her restless spirit. Without another moment's hesitation, she pulled on her sneakers, grabbed her flashlight, and slipped out of her room. The wooden floorboards creaked in protest as she tiptoed down the hall and past her parents' room, holding her breath as she turned the doorknob and stepped out into the night. The summer air was thick with the scent of pine and the faint tang of lake water from Willow Creek's edge. Ellie's pulse quickened as she turned the beam of her flashlight toward the source of the noise. Just beyond the gnarled oak tree that marked the boundary of her yard, a figure emerged. "Ellie," a voice whispered, hesitant and familiar. It was Tom Reynolds, her neighbor and reluctant partner in many of her escapades. His messy brown hair caught the moonlight, and his eyes darted nervously around. "Tom, what are you doing out here?" Ellie's surprise softened into a grin. If Tom was out, it meant she wasn't imagining the strangeness of the night. "I heard something. I thought you might." Tom shifted uneasily, the glow of Ellie's flashlight catching on the small compass he clutched in his hand. Want to check it out?" Ellie's grin widened. She knew Tom's cautious nature, but even he couldn't resist the thrill of a good mystery. "Then let's find out what's out there," she said, the flutter of excitement tightening her chest. Together, they stepped into the cool embrace of the woods, the whispered secrets of the night calling them onward.